I request Dr. Likas. Okay. Now I request Dr. Lingai sir to come on to the dais. To give an introduction of the chief guest and followed by the felicitation of the chief guest.
A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to today's program. Today's our chief guest, Dr. Karnakar Reddy. I think all of you know, there is no need of introduction about him, but he has completed his MBBS from Osmania Medical College, Hyderabad. He got distinction in obstetrics and gynecology and pharmacology also. And he's joined in MS General Surgery in Osmania, but later shifted to Kakatiya Medical College. And he was the university topper, gold medalist in MS, in combined state of Andhra Pradesh. After that, he joined in service in 1987. 86 passed MS and 87 years joined in service. He was professor of surgery for 10 years, then head of the Department of Surgery in Warangal for 3 years, almost 4 years. Then he had he was for a lot of positions in administrative positions. He was a deputy superintendent of MGM Hospital, Warangal, then became the superintendent of MGM Hospital. Then now he is vice chancellor of College University. His academic programs are, he is MCA inspector for PG courses, vice president of All India Surgical Association, AP chapter, and is chairman of Association of Surgical India, Warangal chapter. He was a teacher for almost 28 years for both undergraduate and postgraduate students. He has trained 5,000 undergraduate students and more than 150 PG students. And most of his surgery students became MCH graduates, working in different parts of the country and in abroad also. As a vice chancellor, he has done a lot of things. He has started his career as vice chancellor, first vice chancellor of the college university. He started with a small building in Kakatiya campus with very limited staff. Slowly, he has developed the university into a bigger one. And now a separate building is constructed under his pursuance. He has successfully taken over the academic activities of the Telangana region from NTR University. Then got all the necessary permissions from the Medical Council, Dental Council, and Nursing Council also. Then he has got extra seats in some MBBS, PG, and super specialty courses also. Conducted MBBS, BDS counseling 3 rounds, and completed all the admissions of MBBS, BDS, and PG courses also. He has even extended courses of MSc, BSc, and post-BSc courses of nursing, and physiotherapy courses, MPT, BPT also. He has made university into digitalization, the process of university completely digitalization now. He has got income tax exemption from the university financial things, and lot of research funds are created by him for the university. Uh, University building, new building has been constructed for university under his pursuance, and of course, recently our chief minister also inaugurated it. He is the member of high power committee and is member of ethical committee of Telangana state, and also he is member of Telangana admission and fee regulation committee. So a lot of things he has done. Hope he will further get good positions further also, and definitely under his guidance, under his supervision, Telangana state will get good health improvement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to call upon the chief guest and the Honorable Dr. Karnaka Reddy, sir, to come on to the dais. Our MD Pavan, sir, as well. Vijay Kumar, sir, for the inauguration of the voucher, the SIM voucher. Dr. Harikishan, sir. Dr. Linga, sir, would be felicitating the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Karnaka Reddy, sir, now, along with Dr. Pavan, sir.
Distinguished guests, faculty members, and students, it gives me great pleasure to be with all of you today for the inauguration of Simulation Lab. At the outset, I'd like to appreciate, salute all the pulmonologists who have done great service during this ongoing pandemic. I won't say it has finished. Still, we don't know because most of the countries are still showing a rising trend, and from government side, we are still apprehensive that one more wave might come. And as you are aware, each wave is throwing a different challenge. The first wave, we were not even aware of how the disease is going to present, progress, and what are the treatment modalities and all. By the time we thought and the world thought that we have got rid of this problem, the second wave has caught us unaware, and we lost many of our, faculty members, many of our population. And second wave has behaved in a completely different manner. We had different set of complications. We had mucar and all. Now we don't know what the third wave is going to. It's projected that pediatric population might get affected more, and there might be more cases of MIC and all, but we don't know yet. So this pandemic has brought out the need of the society for pulmonologists and then intensive care specialists. Although compared to when we were students, this specialty was simply called as MDTB, because in those days the only chest condition we were thinking as a developing country was tuberculosis. Tuberculosis was the major hurdle. Then we had some cases of COPD, asthma and all. But now from that, pulmonology has grown into a specialty and then subsequently into super specialty. And all this is possible because of the interventions which have been done. And I congratulate the management of Yashoda hospitals for providing a beautiful simulation lab. And I have been told this is the first of its kind in the country. For all of our consultants, junior staff members, and the students to get trained in bronchoscopy. And like any other interventional procedure, all these have got a very steep learning curve, and this simulation equipment will make it a little more easier for us, because it's very difficult to practice on patients, and particularly on patients who are critically ill or who is gasping, struggling with some foreign body or something like that. So bronchoscopy is basically a difficult procedure, and to get trained on the patient is a much more difficult proposition. And these simulation labs definitely have a an impact and ease the training process. Because I remember when I was the professor and HOD of surgery, we got laparoscopic simulation equipment, and those days it was costing around 80-85 lakhs. Same Vishal Surgical people have provided us, and it has helped development of laparoscopic surgery in Warangal. Particularly the young surgeons all got benefit. And I hope that this service is extended to all the students, irrespective of whether they are in Yashoda or other institutions, and including other medical colleges also, so that all the residents and junior specialists in pulmonology will be benefited by getting this training. So I was speaking with Dr. Lingaya Garu. He said probably it will be extended to everyone. So that's a grand gesture on the part of management of Yashoda, and all of us should know that corporates like Yashoda have put India on international map in healthcare. See, as most of the seniors will remember, when we were students, we were always thinking of that we were 10 to 20 years behind West. Now we can proudly say that India is on par or at least ahead of Western countries, because we have the quality of doctors. So the only thing lacking was the equipment, the infrastructure. Now that has been provided by the corporate sector. So that's the reason now Hyderabad is on international map. You see so much of medical tourism going on. So all this has been possible because of the foresight of the people who thought of investing without thinking of returns, without thinking of profits. See, simulation lab, I don't know how much of, you may not get anything out of it. You may not get any income out of it. But it's a tool which is going to help generations of students to become well-versed in bronchoscopy and interventional procedures. And remember all of you, interventional procedures are going to be the future of all medical specialties. See, probably After few decades, we might do away with open surgery for many of the things. As it is now, laparoscopic surgery, minimal invasive surgery has taken over. In future, it might be only the interventional procedures, and most of them will be OP procedures by which we will be curing of ourselves. So with these few words, I once again thank the organizers for inviting me and allowing me to share the inauguration of this thing, and some, I was able to meet some of my old friends, my classmates and all, to share these moments with you. And once again, I appreciate and congratulate the management for making such an endeavor for the welfare and for the training of all the students. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Wyatt Simulation Centre was a vision, and he, being a true leader, has extended his help to translate it from a dream. We are talking about none other than Dr. Pavan Gorukanti, the director of Yashoda Hospital. We request Dr. Pavan to speak a few words on this occasion.
Thanks, everybody. I think you have put me in a spot. So everybody is saying I'm favoring pulmonary. So hopefully there are no more. Is there any other non-pulmonologists here other than the management, Venkat? Please don't tell these words outside. Yes, I am favoring pulmonary though, because do you know why? In my other hat as an administrator and all, nowadays I'm not practicing pulmonology, so no need to do bronchoscopies and all. But yeah, the maximum growing department in the country is pulmonology. Yeah? So you're in a great field. Here, the leading luminaries in the front bench here have started like at that time, maybe pulmonary was whatever, yeah, Tumulu, Dagulu, and these kind of things. But now things have changed quite a bit. So you're all in the right field. Definitely, you know why? Like previously, we had all this malaria, whatever, tapeworm, roundworm, typhoid, and all of those things. Something for the T cells to act. But now, from now, I think it will be just viral illnesses. Nothing else is there. So COVID first wave, second wave, maybe third wave. So if not COVID, maybe H1N1 again, or something else, SARS or something like that. So nothing else for the T cell. So I think you're in the right field though. So that's great. You're taken a great job. Venkat, you're also in the right field, critical care. So, but yes, but it's important because there are so many people coming up nowadays. Sir has also contributed here, because there are so many medical students and everybody coming up. It's great that you've taken some time today to come here and all to update. You have to be ahead of the curve. People will follow, but this is one such endeavor. Thanks for sparing your Sunday. I'm sure you'll go much more enriched. And coming to this topic of interest, so the Simulation Center is it's a great, I would say it is really, really useful though. At that time, I don't know, sirs and all here must have, I don't know, how did they do the bronchoscopy and also when I first went to the US, okay, central line, I did not know. I told them, just do a central line, they said. I never done one, no problem, do one, see one, do one or something like that. So somehow I could do a few central lines, and after that, now it's in the sleep. But that first few times was so tough. Bronchoscopy was another, that was an experiment. I don't know, how do you do this up or down, sideways and all that. Okay, thinking something about video game, and somehow after a lot of practice on real patients, finally he could do something. And yeah, I think these people must have heard this joke by now, but some new faces I see, so I'll repeat it again. So Suchitra is from US too. So when my first time learning EBUS there, thoracic surgeons were the only ones doing there. So, and they were super busy there. And so once we did that, I don't have the whole day to do it. Do something like, okay, I did some kind of biopsy. And after 2 days, he called me and, hey, Pawan, do you know what was the biopsy showing? Is splenic tissue. From the bronchus, we got spleen. So that was, yeah. So you need not do those kind of things. So please use simulation services. Kanak Reddy, sir, definitely we promise we will be open for everybody here. like this is our major thing here is dissemination of knowledge. So everybody should be knowing these things. I think simulation will help a lot. Bronchoscopy, EBUS, and whatever else, all the latest things, central lines and all of those things. So what else? Yeah, thanks everybody here. I think the students, PGs, DNBs, and everybody here contributed a lot to have this. And Hari has not slept for last 1 week as usual, I think, just to make sure everything is it's in its place, including the tea, coffee, and lunch. Have you organized something, Hari? Lunch? Yes, Narendra and Hari will be, they'll make sure that you get well fed and all, but make use of these services. Like we are open anytime. Hari is one of the most like accessible person. So please call, email, or do something. And I require, and thanks, special thanks for people coming from all over, from the city, from the country. Sujitra and all, like Tinku Joseph is, I think he knows. People may be thinking you are joining Yashoda, Tinku. I don't know if you are here, but from Amrita. So it's good though. We'll keep doing these things, and definitely pulmonary is leading the field. We definitely want to support whatever is the latest and all. We believe once we do a good job, people and patients will follow those. So Memorial Sloan Kettering in US, there is only one center, but all the oncology top level people, if anything is there, they look up to that center. And also our endeavor is, even if we are not in multiple cities and all, try to match world standards, and people will come from all over. Even this second wave of COVID, I never thought ECMOs will be so recognized. Yes, when I was from US and all, first time I even did an advertisement campaign and all. ECMOs could be the difference between life and death, but that time it was only 1 or 2 or something was going on. So this last wave, I think at the peak we had some 15 to 20 patients simultaneously on ECMO. And even now many are, and this concept of awake ECMOs, without ventilator, only ECMO, waiting for transplant. And at the extremes of COVID, sickest patients, 1 or 2 patients, I think after 70 days of ECMO, 60 plus years, transplant, and within 1 day could decannulate and finally went home and doing okay. So now there is hope on the other side too. So we hope, it will not go to that stage and all, but whatever, once we do advanced stuff, people will keep coming. And same applies for all you budding people though. So I'm seeing your faces nice and eager, and also you need to differentiate yourself, and patients and people will automatically follow you. You need to be ahead of the curve. Do things like the people here in the front row, like Harikishan and all, whenever, whatever the best and latest you have to do, and you have to believe in yourself, try your best, and eventually everybody will recognize, and people will follow and come to you. So thank you all for organizing the great thing, and I request all of you to make full use of this and anything else, and Yashoda always will keep supporting whatever we can do from our side, educational activities, CMEs, and anything else too. We'll partner with the government wherever it's required. And yes, Hyderabad is becoming a medical hub from all over the country and all the world too. So I'm very surprised. Pulmonary, now international fellows. Hari, how many countries you had? Some 20 countries applying to do fellowship here, but they will be on the bottom of the queue. First preference will be here and next there. So, okay, thank you so much. I don't want to bore you more. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for your constant support and wonderful words today. Next, we have with us Dr. Jayachandra, Senior Consultant Interventional Pulmonologist, Virinchi Hospitals, to share his experiences in this field.
Yeah, good afternoon. Coming to this place and looking at the simulation lab and all that, it's such a revelation. I mean, starting out with basic bronchoscopy, maybe probably in the late 80s to 90s, when probably yours is the only instrument down south, and learning it on your own because there's nobody to teach you. I mean, teaching yourself over a period of time and then getting on to so many other interventions, rigid bronchoscopy, thoracoscopy, I mean, you name it, I think we have done it all. But the learning curve was so long. So that's the thing. You have a simulation lab, you do most of the training or you can hone in your skills so very well before you actually touch the patient. I think that's going to be wonderful now. This is something which was missing in the country for a long time. And now that Hari has taken the initiative and started the whole thing, there's only one way to go, and that is forward. And I'm sure it's going to be more and more useful for any budding pulmonologist to go through a simulation before actually touching a patient with a bronchoscope and other things. I wish him all the best. And thanks for a great initiative, Hari. And I think I should thank Yashoda also for taking the initiative and supporting the entire endeavor. Thank you.
What we had from the start is carved by sir in those simple words. We move on to the next thing, and I would like to request Dr. Shubhakar Kandi sir to come on to the dais and give his message to the students.
Good morning. Respected Chief Guest of today's function, the Vice Chancellor of College University, Dr. Karunakaran sir, the senior faculty members, Dr. Pawan, the firebrand for Yashoda Secunderabad, and Lingay sir, and my teacher, P. Rao sir. And of course, can I call my student Hari? More than this, I know him for more than 10 years. Even before joining the Yashoda, I have seen him as a student at Amrita. I went as an examiner to Amrita. He's the person, he received me at the airport. So that is the first interaction with Hari. I'm watching him closely. I think more than a pulmonologist, he's a great human being. Whenever we need help, he's always ready. He's silent, and he will not, he's a down-to-earth person. And he has a vision to develop pulmonology. I think for the last 4 years, 5 years, he's thinking that how to develop the pulmonology. Of course, we all know the interventional pulmonology has gone leaps and bounds today. And the Yashoda group has kept Hyderabad in the world map, as already told by our Vice Chancellor. In the recent COVID pandemic, I think more than 500 air ambulances have come to Hyderabad. That shows the image of the Hyderabad, and I think most of them are. In fact, I referred one case to Hari, transferred one patient by air ambulance. So all these, when we are students, when you are pulmonology students, until we learn bronchoscopy seeing someone. Can you run a flight with seeing someone? You can't run a flight. I think when you can't run a flight, which is risking the passengers. Similarly, I think the pulmonology, interventional pulmonology also, you have to change our practice. You have to learn on simulation than do on patients. Patients are not guinea pigs. So unfortunately, most of the medical colleges, sir, Karunakaran sir, in the more than 30 medical colleges that are there in Telangana, the teaching facilities are not up to the optimum, particularly the bronchoscopy training program. So I think we have lost almost 2 years, last 2 years in the COVID. Our pulmonology postgraduates learned only COVID. More than that, they could not do anything because they can't do any procedures because of the COVID. I think the simulation centers like this Yashoda has started is going to be a boon when there is a crisis has come. So at least to teach our students, I think this has already, Pawan has volunteered to use, the others can also use these services. I think, sir, this is an excellent opportunity, like a public-private partnership. The medical colleges should use this simulation center for teaching. I think I bring greetings from the Indian Chess Society. I'm keen to have one exclusive under the banner of Indian Chess Society, if Pavan permits and Harish says okay, that we can have one exclusive under Indian Chess Society banner from the South Zone. We can call all the postgraduates, the learning people who can conduct the simulation training center. I think is going to be a wonderful moment. So with this, I thank you for inviting me to share my thoughts during this inauguration program. I wish this simulation center a good luck, and hope the university also uses this center for future learning of the postgraduates. Thank you.
You have always been imparting skills that have shaped many careers, sir, and your mentoring has meant so much to us now. Thank you, sir. And we like to call upon now Dr. Pragnut Wagre, sir, to address the proceedings.
Hi, good morning to all of you. And thank you for calling me here and being a witness to this wonderful program today. I was really thoroughly impressed by the work you are doing here in pulmonology especially. I still remember when I joined MD, I had a general surgery option available. I left that and joined MD TB. People shouted at me, why are you mad? Why are you joining MD TB, leaving general surgery? But now you see, after 4 decades or 4.5 decades, I'm talking about 81, 82, where pulmonology has gone and what heights it has reached now. And I think my full credit, please, sir, to Yashoda Hospital and Dr. Hari and his team for having an excellent Dr. Pavan. Your encouragement has really helped them. And I'm very, very, very happy to see that what a lucky pulmonologists upcoming now are, what the postgraduate students, what facilities you have. Otherwise, you have to go and search. And we remember when we did the bronchoscopy, first bronchoscopy came in chest hospital. We were just allowed to stand like this and see. Only our professor used to do it, and then we will see. And now how much it has changed. It's really fantastic. I'm very happy, sir, very happy. And once again, I thank you for having invited me here to share my thoughts here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. A grand opening is always a cause for a great celebrations, and let your enthusiasm and excitement show. It's taken plenty of time, hard work to reach this point, especially during this tough COVID times. And finding the funds, let it be creating the structure, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. But on the opening day, all of this is in the past. Let's time to feel accomplished, and you all know whom I'm talking about. And I would like to welcome the innovative Dr. Harikishan sir to take over the proceedings.
Before I start my lecture, I invite my teacher, Dr. P.V. Prabhakar garu, to come and give his opinion.
Namaskar to all of you. There is a saying in Sanskrit, Ujjame naiva siddhanti, na pravishyanti mukhe murgaha. The meaning is that unless there is strong will to do and commitment, no work can be accomplished. A mighty lion, known as the king of the forest, even if it doesn't hunt, no animal will enter into its mouth. Now that's the example of what has happened today. I'm so proud that first, Dr. Subhakar has recognized me and in public told that I'm his teacher. A teacher's greatest thing is that when a student recognizes him wherever the teacher is, and then none else than Dr. Harikishan. He is my first student. And in fact, he remembers how I was beating him on his back, because at that time, there were no simulators. And then I was just saying, go, push, don't be worried, right? That's how, I taught him bronchoscopy. And Subhakar also would recon. When he was with me at Manipal, I told him, I just gave him the first inkling of the bronchoscope. In fact, I'm very happy that we were the earlier, I don't say we were the earliest ones. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, you can note this thing. Way back in 1984, we started doing endoscopies in India. And I was one of the persons who started the bronchology, association in India. Now that reminds me, instead of making this absolutely about the bronchus, I will tell you one small thing. When I took pulmonology, people started laughing at me. They said, what is there? One disease, 2 lungs, and 3 drugs. That one disease is tuberculosis, 2 lungs, and 3 drugs, streptomycin, INH, and thiazidazine. Now, such a specialty has grown up to the super specialty. In fact, I'm so happy, and indeed, I am privileged that many of my students, they took the specialty of pulmonology. And in this podium also, apart from Harikishan, few more students are there who took pulmonology when I just, initiated them. And in fact, it was the frustration of mine. I was telling, first you learn rigid bronchoscopy, and I think he will recall that thing. Before doing fiber optic bronchoscopy, please do rigid bronchoscopy. And now I'm extremely happy that the simulation has come to train, to teach the rigid bronchoscopy, which is actually an art and science. In fact, the fiber optic bronchoscopy can be done within a few sittings, whereas the rigid bronchoscopy needs a lot of sittings. Indeed, I'm very happy that a pulmonologist has come from United States to tell about robotic this bronchoscopy also. Kudos to the Yashoda hospital. And in fact, even I referred one patient from Bhubaneswar to Yashoda hospital, which Dr. Harikishan knows. Unfortunately, of course, the patient didn't survive. And indeed, I had the privilege of referring some patients of corona to Dr. Harikishan, mainly because he has been in my, always in contact with me wherever I have been going abroad or in India, wherever it is. Indeed, it is heartening to see that the corporate hospital, Yashoda, has been doing excellent things. And in fact, as Dr. Subhakar has told, sir, the Vice Chancellor, sir, you can take the opportunity of the offer given by even Dr. Praveen, that even the medical students from all the places, they can come and learn the bronchoscopy and other things, including sleep laboratory also. That's a fantastic thing. The sleep also is not forgotten. With this, I thank the organizers and my dearest students, Subhakar and Dr. Harikishan, inviting me to this podium. Thank you very much. All the best. And last but not least, there is a saying in English that love is in looking in one direction by 2 people for a common cause. Love is looking in one direction by 2 people for a common cause, but love is not looking at each other and destroying the world. Similarly, the education is to do things in a proper way. The teacher and the student also, they have to see in the same direction, not at each other. Thank you very much.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, I would like to thank Yashoda Hospitals for taking initiative in starting this Yashoda Hospital Sim Center. And I like to thank the chief guest, Dr. Karnaka Reddy sir, for gracing this occasion, and all the other chief guests and all the students who have come from different parts of the state and surrounding states. So this concept of bronchoscopy training started when the COVID started, because COVID is a disease that has initially, I thought COVID might kill the pulmonary medicine practice for the PGs who are joining newly when the COVID started. But after 2 years, I realized COVID has everything in pulmonary medicine. So COVID has a pneumonia, viral pneumonia, how to deal with those. You have seen a lot of pulmonary embolisms. Because as a postgraduate, you may hardly see 2 or 3 cases of pulmonary embolism in your practice. But with COVID, there are so many things in pulmonary medicine and pulmonary diseases you come across as a part of COVID. Call it pleural effusions, pleural infections, intercostal drains. Our PGs used to do, not in the government sectors, in the private sectors, maybe 15, 20 a year, with COVID being so rampant, and then a lot of pneumothoraces. So in that kind of procedural things, after 2 years, I realized COVID also helped most of the pulmonary medicine graduates. Initially, we were a bit worried, like what happens to the DNBs and MDs who join pulmonary medicine in these 3 years, if the whole 3 years continue to be COVID, and what they will be doing. And one other thing, basic bronchoscopies are also a part of COVID, but coming to therapeutic bronchoscopies, that is one thing that we cannot teach them during the COVID period because of the risk of infections and all. With this idea, this was there from beginning when I joined Yashoda hospitals, but it took almost 3 years, and that's a very short time indeed to develop such a center. So this during COVID, the department has gained a lot of. We had a lot of accreditation from different world societies, and also our department. We won the best image contest this year from the World Association of Bronchology, which our fellow students have submitted. Like, we have removed a clot, and then that's published in the second edition of World Association of Bronchology journal this year. And then we were invited from our department to write 2 chapters in this prestigious book, I call, because you can see the authors being David Feller Kaufman is one of the important persons in pleural diseases from US. So we contributed 2 chapters in this book, and that was published this year also. So this all happened during COVID. So we had one with the lung adenocarcinoma. And most importantly, for the first time in the world, we developed a new technique of biopsying a lymph node, what we called as endobronchial ultrasound guided transbronchial cryobiopsy guided needle aspiration, needle biopsies. So this is the first time we reported, and that's also been published in Respirology journal this month. So I thank all my postgraduates, especially Varun, Tyagesh, and all who helped me in this doing, because it's a complex thing. And when you're doing it for the first time, you have a lot of doubts, like what happens if you have bleeding and all these things. But we successfully did 4 cases. Some of my colleagues in Italy, they already completed nearly 100, 150 procedures. So relatively, we were able to establish safety of this procedure. And then we have submitted it for the coming ECBIP. And moreover, I've been elected as the European Association of Bronchology and Pulmonology national delegate from India. So this is the first time this thing has happened. And also we have done a lot of COVID work also in educating and also decreasing the practicing of overdose of steroids from the highest center, which did COVID studies from the University of Leicester in UK. We did a webinar program with all the faculty from there. So in that way, the department has contributed to the COVID scene as well. And we were also called from the Philippine Society to deliver a lecture during the lung cancer program this year. And then coming now, the next event would be SIM Center. This is my dream of establishing a practice center for early budding pulmonologists. So this is actually open for all, not a very like a fee-oriented structure, but in the coming 3 months, we are planning to start an e-course kind of bronchoscopy where all medical colleges, we are being we also, I thank Fujifilm and Yerbe for giving their certification for this center, because these are multinational companies, and then certifying a single center is a very big task for them. So I thank these 2 companies for recognizing as the national reference centers in bronchoscopy. And also we are planning to expand this program by using this Proximi, which is very familiar in the laparoscopic world, where there is a remote world. these people will help us to teach bronchoscopy or any operating procedure. If you are in Rome, you are doing a procedure that can be lively seen in Hyderabad, and then all the steps will be followed. Also, there is a lot of, this is a very important platform where you can go and check out. So we are trying to approach this to continue our simulation center and association with them. And also, we are also working on Pulmex. This is a mobile application platform. In this platform, actually, if you can download it in your iPhone or Android, you can do all kinds of interventional pulmonary procedures in this just app. And it's very, sometimes I do sit here when I'm traveling and all, I play these games where you have to remove foreign bodies and all. It's quite difficult than in normal patients. So if you're trained in these kind of things, it's much more easier for you when you come to real practice. So with this, I end my lecture, and I invite you all whenever you have time, because we have sent invitation to all the medical colleges across both the states, and also we are sending invitation to all the medical colleges in India, where we have 15 faculty from the country and 15 from international, and we are approaching a platform called Nourish, and then we create a classroom model for teaching bronchoscopy across India, starting from basic to the most advanced bronchoscopy settings. So I welcome you all, and then in the afternoon we will have an academic session, and I will orient you to the simulation center, which is located in the 6th floor. So with this, I thank, and I thank you all for coming to this and blessing us with your attendance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your time, which is unfalteringly investing in this lecture. Now, historically, if we see, IP training opportunities were extremely rare and required self-sacrifice and initiative. So specialized centers in Europe offered expertise and training in procedures such as rigid bronchoscopy, stenting, and medical thoracoscopy, which offered foreign physicians a learning opportunity. Today, we have training programs in India as well as outside, but there is requirement for standardization of training methodology. To enlighten us about the same, we have Dr. Lorenzo Corbito, who is currently working as an associate professor of respiratory diseases at University of Florence. And he's also the director of educational program in interventional pulmonology, scientific and website director of the EAB, and he is nationally regent of the director of the master degree in interventional pulmonology, University of Florence, and as well as the University Hospital of Carnegie. Over to you, sir. This will be a virtual online lecture. Before heading on to the lecture, I would request Dr. Lingaya sir and the Managing Director sir to come and felicitate the chief guest. Dr. Lingaya sir and Director sir. First in order is Dr. Jayachandra sir. Dr. Kandi Subaka sir, onto the stage, please. Dr. Prajit Wagre, sir. Inline Dr. P.V. Prabhakar, sir. Dr. Tinku Joseph, sir. May I now request Dr. Harikishan, sir, to come to the dais? Come on to the dais, who will be felicitated by the Medical Director, Dr. Lingay, sir. Thank you. We come to the last lecture for today. That will be an online lecture by Dr. Lorenzo Corbito, sir.
Morning to you all. I would like to thank Kishan for our collaboration over the years and for inviting me to speak here today. I'd like to thank also my friend Pavan Gorukanti, and Harry asked me to speak about training methodology in interventional pulmonology. I have a very good memory of the event, the invitation of 2 years ago before COVID. We were very happy. We had a very nice course. Many invited doctors, and was really a very nice event. And now we are again here to speak about the progress, the development of training in interventional pulmonology. It's very, I like to show this phrase of our forefather Chevalier Jackson, who told that 1 century ago, that in the future, so now, the interns will tap and look and listen on the outside of the chest. The radiologists will continue to look through the patient. But now the surgeon, the internist, and the radiologist will ask to the bronchoscopist to look inside the patient. When we speak about bronchoscopy, we speak about the interventional pulmonology that is defined as the art and science of medicine as related to the performance of diagnostic and invasive therapeutic procedure. It is very important that in the definition, that there is the requirement of additional training and expertise beyond that required in a standard pulmonary medicine training program. It's very important this because interventional pulmonology is a young specialty developed in the past 20 years. You can see here in this diagram the development in the last 20 years. And how can we resolve this problem of additional training? Carlo Lamba in 2010 suggested to dedicate 1 year of additional fellowship training after the specialization. But as there are new technologies, the mastery of this skill sets is an ongoing process in practice, extending beyond the IP fellowship. Now the training is organized during our routine practice with free learning, with personal employment time, and the instructors are colleagues or very short courses. But we are moving away from disorganized teaching like this towards structured teaching to obtain a real improvement in competence. And in United States, 40 fellowship program organized in 40 states. We structure learning with dedicated time of 1 year or 2 years with a very precise curriculum and with mentors, program directors, and organized faculty. And this is the way, the pathway to the success of this training. Why it's important is the formal training, because the formal recognition of interventional pulmonology enhances professionalism by creating practice standards and well-defined competencies. And this can attract the best and the brightest to commit their careers to further developing the field, our field of interventional pulmonology. We began a very good collaboration with the United States. This is an article published this year with Hans Lee from Baltimore, from Johns Hopkins, where we describe the differences between the training in European and the United States. And in the future, I like to begin a collaboration also with our Indian friends, as this collaboration with Hari Krishan. How is the training, the structured training in Europe? In reality, there is not a structured training. The only structured course is the board certification for EBAS. That is a training program divided in 3 parts. The first phase is the theoretical part. The second is based on clinical simulation training using especially the Bronch Mentor, that is the simulator acquired by the Yashoda hospital. And the third is the phase of assessment with supervised training and the need to send 3 videos at the end to demonstrate the skill and the competence during a real procedure. This is the only structured course. So when the WABI, the World Association of Bronchoscopy Interventional Pulmonology, asked me to write an editorial about the European standardization prospect for training, I did a survey in Europe, asking to my French, German, Brexit, English, English friends, and we concluded that at the present we don't have a single common curriculum throughout Europe. And now there is a certificate of competence in interventional pulmonology mandatory in Europe. While a diploma is also required when applying for a position, for example, for director of interventional pulmonology. And so we think that there is a great need for the roadmap leading to standardization, European but worldwide in IP. And we try to launch a program with a task group funded by the ERS and the ABIP to come up with a solution applicable across Europe. And the first event was held in Venice, inviting many experts of training interventional pulmonology around the world, from Europe, of course, but also from China, from Australia, from South America, as you can see. The title was Mastering Interventional Pulmonology, Roadmap Towards the Competence. And we began this program during the last day with a summary of the course, and at the end the conclusion are what was written in the Coach Corner in the website for training in IP. Is the website of Harry Court, and the conclusion were that we are at the end of an antiquated and steady education model, historical linked to a see one, do one, and teach one paradigm of medical procedure education, because the patients must not be used as subjects for medical procedure education. And this modern educational paradigm is justified by these new technologies, like the new simulation technology. And we have two structured training programs with multidimensional curricular approach, and also we need train the training program to help trainers to become more familiar with their variety of teaching techniques and assessment tools, learning principles, and education-related philosophies. We began on 29. This program in Italy now is open at the 12th edition. Was open also to international doctors. We had also last year Indian participants. And but after we begin the master, we realized that we needed the most structured training. So we agreed the pathway beginning from the designing of the core curriculum and the methodologies and the specific measure of competencies and outcomes. And the track to competence was during the time followed 3 steps. The first step was the delineation of the specific competencies, the core curriculum. The second step, to develop training pathways and certification requirements. And the third step, the development of specific measures for assessment of these competencies. And this was published last 2 years ago. It is a monography on competence in interventional pulmonology. that is divided in 12 chapters. 12 chapters in different procedures, beginning from the basic bronchoscopy and the basic biopsy technique, and followed by the competence in endosonographic techniques, navigation and guided transbronchial biopsy for peripheral pulmonary lesions, competence in transbronchial cryobiopsy, operative bronchoscopy, pleural procedures, thoracic ultrasound, pulmonary endoscopy emergencies, and new competencies in treatment of emphysema with valves and bronchial thermoplasty for asthma. We have also written a chapter on the bronchoscopy for intensive care unit and for other specialty like thoracic surgery. And this is available in open access in the website of PAMINAR. The second step was to develop the methodologies, and we developed many new methodologies. The last were the video recording in YouTube channel, because that permitted us to have the translation in many languages. So it's very it's easier to involve also foreigners and also as teachers and as participants, because the platform for teaching contain many presentation, all with the subtitles and the translation in different languages. Another new development the last year was the streaming video integrated system in our our operating room, where is possible to follow many videos in the same time with the video of the operator, doctors, nurses, cytopathologists, technicians, the bronchoscopy videos, of course, linear EBUS, radial EBUS, navigator. The video microscope is connected, so when we perform the EBUS TBNA, for example, we perform the rows, we can transmit also the lecture of the slide commented by the cytopathologist, the fluoroscopy guide for the peripheral lesions, the imaging, and the anamnesis and the history of the patient to describe what is the history of the patient, the presentation slides, and so on. And there is a director, usually me, that explain the operation and choose the best videos for every phase of the operation. It is improved the teaching, because it is permitted to maintain the training also during the COVID with the transmission video conference platform, and and it permitted also to involve more participants on every operation, and this permitted also to have live sessions that is more emotional and permitted to involve better the participants. These are some examples. For example, for a rigid bronchoscopy, there is at the same time the intubation with the rigid bronchoscopy and the image. And this is another for EBUS, and as you can see, these are the participants. And there is the bronchoscopy image and also the EBUS image. And this is another on, you can see here the in the same time the CT scan with the demonstration of the lesion and the same time the demonstration of the linear EBUS. Another modality, Hari Kishan asked me to show the new modalities, not the traditional modalities, but the new modalities, is the augmented reality. And this is a new system to demonstrate with the three images, for example, in this case, the anatomy of the lymph node, and to show the relation between the lymph node and the vessels, and using augmented reality. But the most important is the simulation, because we have to abandon the traditional method of training from theory to practice directly to the patient. But the actual scheme of the structured training begin with a theoretical course followed by an examination, and from a very important session on based on simulation, followed by another examination, then supervised practice, examination, and independent practice with the monitoring of the results. This is very important because it demonstrated that it accelerates the learning curve, and not only, but also is safer only for the patient. This is what we do in our master. Some example with the plastic model, and this is for rigid bronchoscopy, for example. And this is a pig lung with a very realistic. We are demonstrating a TBNA, but after TBNA, we move to the slide. We smear the sample on a cluster slide with the presence of the cytopathologist, and the slide is what fixed in alcohol and stayed with, in this case, with Grunwald or Papa Nicolau. And at the end, the slide is put in the microscope, and is examined by the participants with the tutoring of cytopathologists. And but the most important modality of simulation is the high fidelity simulation with the 3D, with the new instruments of 3D. And the most used in the past years is the Brock Mentor of Symbionics, with many kind of sessions. This is the session on EBUS, where it's possible to improve not only the dexterity, but also the knowledge of the relation between the lymph nodes and the vessels and the anatomical part of the bronchial tree. And there are also many cases, so it's also self-managed. The third step was to develop a specific measure of these competencies, like this. The first phase of assessment is the quantitative assessment with a logbook, like the professional pilot logbook. And this is not sufficient, but we need also qualification tools, and the most used are the direct observation of procedural skills, the DOPS, like the scores developed by Henry Colt, like the B-STAT from the basic bronchoscopy, the EBOS-STAT for EBOS, the EUSAT for EUS, the UG-STAT for thoracic ecography, and rigid task and other assessment questionnaire. For the quantitative assessment, there are minimum institutional volumes that are what is required in the fellowship programs in the United States. The minimum volumes for rigid bronchoscopy are 50, for endobronchial stenting 20, for thoracoscopy 20, and so on. This is a continuing process of update this volume and these procedures, because we know that we have continuously new technologies like this. This is the robotic bronchoscopy, so we will need new modalities and new instruments for the simulation for training. In conclusion, the success and future of bronchoscopy interventional pulmonology depends largely on giving residents extensive training opportunities, and we insist to organize structure and complete program of training. And we have seen that there is one or 2 year the time needed to achieve competency, but it's only the beginning of the longer lasting program. And as Benjamin Franklin said, it's very important to involve with the simulation the participants, because she said that they tell me they forget, teach me they remember, but involve me and I learn. And another important phrase to remind is what Confucius said: if your plan is for 1 year, plant rice; if your plan is for 10 years, plant trees; but if your plan is for 100 years, educate children. In our case, train bronchoscopists. And I conclude showing our invitation for the 6th European Congress for Bronchology and Interventional Pulmonology in Athens in hybrid modalities. We hope in presence, but also online. And there is an early registration extended available until tomorrow for physical engagement attendance, and I strongly recommend you to participate in presence, but would be not easy, but in online. And I conclude with our happiness of Italian, because football is the most popular sport in Italy. We are now the European champion. Thank you very much.
I request Dr. Vijay Kumar sir, the unit head, to have a vote of thanks. and followed by we'll have lunch, and after that is the simulation training hands-on experience. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, one and all. So thank you for attending a wonderful session. I think everybody was seen our simulation lab and how the arrangements, everything. So I think in the interest of Dr. Hari Kishan is a visionary. Last 2 years, Ian, behind the management to he want as a world-class simulation lab. So thanks to the company of Fuji supported and RB as well as Boston Scientific and Vishal Surgical Call Stores and Broncos, Olympus, Pentax and others. I think you are the people given a support and this innovative technology brought to the nation and the first time in the country given for simulation lab. Thanks to all the company people. And in spite of pandemic situation also, we organized for this program, even though more actively participated by various college of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh and other part of the country states, postgraduates and delegates. So everybody was seen our hospital facility and the best simulation lab. So thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Before we end this session, I would like to convey my special regards to Fujifilm India for sponsoring most of the equipment in our simulation lab. They are one of the very important visionary bronchoscopic companies that has sponsored most of our what Bronch Mentor and all sponsoring to a corporate hospital without looking at revenues is not a simple job. I would like to thank Vijay from Fuji team and his whole team to come on to the dais and receive a token of appreciation. And also we call RB from for giving their support for the simulation lab if they are around.
May I now request all the delegates to assemble at the dais to have a group photo followed by lunch. Kindly assemble at the dais.
I just wanted to explore to see where I can just draw a fine line between the quality, the budget, and the time.
So this flat is a very small kitchen. So what we did is like they advised us like we should go for wall extension.